Rabbi Sharon Brous tells a story about a child walking in an oak forest as the sun filters through the leaves. He climbs on an old log and jumps across a small stream, and he stops to look at some water drops in a spider web. But then, suddenly he realizes that he's completely lost. His heart is racing, he tries to find a way out, but each path only seems to draw him more deeply into the woods. As the afternoon fades, he worries that he might never make it home. But then he sees another child in the distance coming toward him. And he calls out to her, "I'm so glad to see you. I'm lost. Can you tell me how to get out of here?" And she says, "I wish that I could. I'm lost too. But take my hand, and we will find our way through this forest together." Now, Rabbi Brous tells this story to talk about what clergy do. She writes that she always imagined that rabbis and priests helped in times of stress with a combination of solace, imagination, and challenge. But she goes on to say that over time she began to understand that what we do in ordinary life is just as important as disasters, and that everyday moments of connection are what matters. In times like this, we take one another's hand, we make our way through the forest together. Now, my point is that it's not just the work of the clergy to do this. This is what the Grace Cathedral Choir does, week in, week out, all through the year. The people that we sing to, they have lost the job that they love the most in the world. They're in the midst of painful divorces. They struggle with addiction or recently diagnosed illnesses. They're struggling with mental health issues. They're trying to recover who they are after they lost someone who was everything to them. And they come to celebrate too, to thank God for new opportunities in their lives, for unexpected signs of goodness, because they hunger for something more beautiful than what they see out there in the world. And they come here in times of tragedy and times of joy, and they experience one of the most beautiful things that you can experience in the world. And that is what you do for us every week as singers. In 2022, many of you remember that Lee Ming-wei was our artist in residence. And he was a performance artist, but not in the disturbing, unsettling way, right? I mean, he wasn't trying to shock us into some new realization. Ming-wei instead provided beautiful, relaxing installations that help us to see our deepest humanity. And you remember what he did? He had an installation in 2022 where he had a few dancers, two dancers, who were dancing with brooms, sweeping up rice on a beautiful, beautiful cover of the Labyrinth. And that's what he did for us as our artist in residence. But now he has several different installations at the De Young Museum. And one of them is called Sonic Blossom. And I had seen Sonic Blossom before, and so I knew what it was already. And so Sonic Blossom is, what happens is you're in the museum, the De Young Museum, and someone comes over to you, and the person's wearing very special clothing, even more special than the clothing I'm wearing right now, which is very special. And that person comes up to you, and the person says, "Can I give you the gift of song?" And then the person might say, "Nope, not really, can't deal with this right now," which some people do. And other people say, "Yes." And so that person who says yes, the person will take them and sit them on a beautiful chair in a room filled with these incredible landscape paintings and ancient sculpture. And this person will then begin to sing. It's an opera singer. She's got an incredible sing, and she sings just to that one person who's sitting right there in front of her, or him. Now, this last winter, my wife Heidi, many of you know, she's been working like crazy. She's got her students at USF Law School, and then she's been helping the victims of the fires in Lahaina, Maui. And so she's been literally working at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll turn over, and her face is glowing because she's sending a text message to someone in Hawaii, trying to help them with problems that they had that arose from the fire. And so when we were in the museum this last winter, the musician chose her. And as the musician, you can imagine as musicians singing to her all by herself, and as I was watching and knowing what she'd been through, tears were coming down my face because it was such an important gift for her. And I knew that it would help her in a time that was very difficult in her life. Now, this is exactly what you do every week. You don't sit one single person down, but you sit all of us down and you sing directly to us with all your hearts. And it's been such a pleasure to watch you grow and improve and change and try new things and do old things really well. I especially wanted to thank our graduates tonight, Kieran, Nihal, and Ronan. This is our last Evensong with you three. And we're very grateful for what you've done. It's been so fun to watch you grow and change over time. Such a blessing to all of us. But I also want to thank our choirmen, the adult singers too. Because you too, every single week of the year, you're here for us. And it's such a gift and a blessing to all of us. And I know that some of you are going to continue to sing on for years and years, and some of you are kind of the end of your time too. Maybe you're going to be alternates or come and visit us a lot, but it's not going to be just this group anymore. And I wanted to hold on to this moment. Now, some of you know that when I was in college, I used to come here. I used to hear John sing. John sing it when I was a young man, 18 years old, and John was singing here too then. It's such a blessing to have you here. You're like the one constant in my life during all this time. I knew I could come, John would be here and singing. In 2022, Heidi and I went to St. John's College in Cambridge. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a beautiful chapel. And the dean reserved special spots for us, the seat of honor. So I was sitting next to the person who was leading the Evensong. And it was the last Evensong of the term for them. And so it was the same thing as us. Some of them were graduating and going on. Some of their singers were leaving. And as they were singing together, they were singing the same hymn that we're going to be singing here tonight, hymn 24. And it goes like this. The day thou gavest, Lord, is ended. The darkness falls at thy behest. To thee our morning hymns ascended. Thy praise shall sanctify our rest. And as they sang that and the sun was setting through the west windows of the resurrection, the choristers too were crying because they knew it was their last time to be together. So thank you so much, choir, for the morning rehearsals and the midnight masses, for those hot August days where we thought we were all going to melt, for practicing at home, but especially for those times when you may not have been totally into it, but you still showed up and did your best anyway. We are so blessed by what you've given us over these years, and we're so grateful. When we were wandering in the darkness, thank you for taking our hand and helping us to find home together.